So like, stay with your boyfriend then and continue to enjoy yourself. As if that should be the case, then stay in your own career. And immediately when I told my boyfriend that so person my ex, and I showed him the chat, the everything, that it was like, do you want to go? I said, go where? No, I'm not going anywhere. I'm for you forever.
That's true. Yes.
Welcome to the Darkpore show. My name is Fortifying. I'm your host. The caption of today's show is handling the betrayals that come with love interests and loved ones. It's particular because if you are an honorable person, you assume that other people around you are equally honorable. But the world doesn't function that way. So much earlier in the previous show, I started out with a story and I mentioned that there was a particular young man who, for those of us who are not here, so I'll just recap the story. Or should maybe someone else to recap it?
Oh.
Okay, so recap the story I told.
Okay, you said there was a guy, he went to the jam tutorial, and in the jam tutorial, he met a girl that we all agreed to give the name Esther.
It's not Shade.
Okay, it was Shade. So he met Shade and he was emotionally connected to Shade. He wants to run things with Shade. And somebody in the tutorial advised him that, young man, don't go that way. Focus on your education and academics. That when you have that, you can later
come for sure.
So after when he gained admission to another level, he wants to actually go for what he wants. You now find out that Shade and that same man that advised him to actually take Shade out of the
just
picture,
about him.
they're about to get married.
True, he destroyed his enemies.
Betrayal stories they're as old as time, and the reason why they are that way because we want to make sense of it in the hope that maybe we can avoid it. Okay, so ultimately, the reason why we have this video is because a lot of time there are conversations that people don't have these conversations on the surface. When you talk to people and you ask them to name the headaches that they face and all that, the last thing that comes to your mind is how do you navigate the politics of close relationships and close family members. You understand? We're not even comfortable. The idea that you should even mention it it's a scary thing. Most people experience and they just keep quiet, they lock up. And so that's what the conversation we're having today. So is there anything you can do to ensure that you are not betrayed?
Yes.
Yes.
There's nothing we can do to fortify yourself against betrayal.
To fortify yourself,
to ensure that you are not betrayed.
There is, sir. Where am I going to is, you should understand something. Everybody has this elastic limit. There's a point you can get to that will begin to break. Now, one particular thing that I've been doing that will be working for me is that I was talking to the lady back today that you should understand what we call limit with people and boundaries. That, okay, this person, this is the boundary, this is the limit. And there's something, if I'm going to go into business with you, during our arrangement of business, I'm already creating an atmosphere for betrayal. Like, okay, this person I'm looking, this can come from him, this can come from him. Now, what is betrayal itself? Betrayal is when somebody puts you in a situation of disappointment, like, I don't think you can do this. So when you have actually prepared yourself for, just like I did to the girl, like,
but sorry, but that's the challenge. You don't expect the people that actually hurt you when they betray you are people you don't expect that to come from them.
Exactly.
If I know that I can't trust this guy fully, even if he does whatever he's doing, I won't feel hurt by it because already I'm anticipating that one day it will come out that way.
You said no. He was saying, what can we do to prevent betrayal? And I'm saying one of the things we can do is we should actually prepare ourselves from betrayal from anybody. Somebody gave me a story and I was like, I couldn't say anything. If I say you're in a fire and you have your mom and your wife, and you have the opportunity to say one.
How old is your mom now?
No, it's not about the age of the mom. It's not about the age of the mom. It's about how valuable the mom or the wife is. There are some women that there's a mother that they are 80s, and to be sincere, at that 80s, she's still so useful to you spiritually and everything than the wife that is starting something.
Yes.
And there are some wives that they are more useful than you to your family. That if you are in a situation that you look at it like, this girl is so useful, I can actually drop myself and let her stay. So it depends on the value.
Just kill
So you
yourself.
brought something out then in this conversation.
Well,
What you just brought out in this conversation? You're saying that you judge people on the basis of their utility.
Yes.
Value.
And your selection.
which is
into
very
your
selfish.
Yes, based on the value.
Value.
Yes, based on the value.
Which is very, very selfish, and that brings
Very,
us to the problem
very, very.
of those countries.
That means that you assess their utility to you compared to other people's utility.
No.
That's
And they would also access
That's
your
what you said
utility
now.
to them. So the world
This is-
becomes a very
I
hostile
tell you,
place.
Okay.
it's not the usual behavior, but I think I've shared this once. I can't remember. Okay, I have a friend, female friend. She has a friend, female friend. That female friend has a boyfriend, supposed to boyfriend.
Okay.
Okay, the way she started up was that my friend was telling me that our friend is lucky that this guy is lucky. Go just this for us. So I said, what happened? He said the girl had a guy that was that when she wanted to get admission, the guy helped her out to get admission, secured the admission for her, paid her school fees, entered hostel for her, hostel of campus. Did almost everything. Like, the girl attended year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4. Final year, during the convocation, the guy now came that Alpha, I want to, those stuff now.
You want to sample?
He came
To
with
marry
engage.
house, I'm okay.
Proposing to her.
Wow.
And at that spot, she just said no and said yes to her own boyfriend.
Oh,
She had a boyfriend in that school.
Maybe the guy did not make his intention known.
Now that's the way the girl was telling me. The girl was telling me that that I was like that's evil. I said, no, that God just sent the guy away.
Help yes. His intention known.
Instantly, I was just boiling.
He's annoying though.
So I would like to hear your view when you say he didn't make his intention.
Clear.
For 5 years, he
My
has been
God.
paying all the
Okay.
bills.
I would even like to say this one. I have a friend, though she has been dating this guy for a very long time, and the guy is really older than her, like 11 years older than her. Before she started that relationship, we were in secondary school then. I think around 2014. When she started the relationship, she was like, she cannot date the guy because the guy is elderly too and stuff like that. Boom! I saw my friend dating him. I was like surprised. What's going on?
surprise.
So I came back from school then. I gained admission. And they were dating. I was like, what up? I thought you said you can't date this guy and stuff like that. So away from that, to cut the long story short, they started dating. They've been dating for a very long time. A very, very long time.
10 years.
Yes, even more. So let's just leave it there. Let me not
Until they get
expose
grandchildren.
everything. So boom, the guy now said, the guy paid her school fees, bought phone for her. Because I can remember one time like that when the guy wanted to buy phone for her. I chose the phone for her. She was crying that the guy is doing too much. She doesn't want the guy to buy everything for her and stuff like that. So she knows the guy asked her out though. They are dating normally. But the only surprising thing is that she didn't tell her parents about the relationship. They've been dating. The guy sponsored the sister, sponsored her family, did a lot of ceremony. I don't want to go to
The guy now, the Buruku
yes, did a lot of ceremony for the girl. So boom, the guy was like, he wanted to marry her. So they told the parent. The mother was like, God forbid that the guy cannot marry her daughter.
Why?
Why? One, because academic standard. They're on different.
Oh, but he can pay for her to get the academic.
So I'm actually not surprised. Don't take it personal. So I'm not surprised.
And you feel good for yourself.
That's witchcraft.
The person knew at the very beginning that this man wanted a wife, but waited all along to acquire resources. And then at the end, when resources were not necessary,
Witchcraft.
the person decided to exit the relationship. That's the summary of the story.
Yeah.
Let's take it out of marital relationship. Let's put it in
Business.
let's put it in business. You have two people. One person feels that over the course of 10 years or so, is investing money in building your business. Okay? You at the other hand, at the end of 10 years, you now say that I like the money that you invested in the business so far. However, I cannot go into business partnership with you.
Take your 10 million.
Yeah.
Take your time.
That's the part that's missing in this story.
This transaction now is take back your money. That's the part that is missing. All right. You see that once we translate it into business, it doesn't work out.
You see the betrayal stuff the betrayal stuff that we're talking about, it can't be avoided totally. But in some rare scenarios, you can actually see it coming. Except you just want to be oblivious to that fact. Betrayal is part of life. Everyone has to go through it, whether we like it or not.
Sure.
So there are some rare scenarios where you can actually see betrayal coming, but you tend to ignore the fact, the reality coming, because maybe you are probably too in love with that person to just know that. While in most cases, we don't see it coming because it tends to do with feelings. That's what I just feel.
Sorry, I beg to disagree with you.
No problem.
I'll try to analyze it this way. If you see it coming, it's not a betrayal. Okay. Because, take for example, right? The only person that I know that saw it coming is Jesus. Even when you saw the story of Caesar, you say, you too, Brutus. It's not the plenty dagger that actually killed him. It's the fact that someone that he trusted the most is part of the people that were backstabbing him. And then, to be honest with you, the people that hurt you when they betray you are those people you love so much that you don't expect it.
From backstab, not front stab.
From them. From them. So, sorry. But if he's passing his own intention by act of kindness, and after a while, the lady is decoding the fact that he knows if the guy is not bold enough to ask, it's simple. Why don't you just,
bring
the elephant in the house, just make it
Okay, are you guys telling me that? The guy does not make, like the guy in the story
was not eloquent enough.
Didn't make his intention known with all those things
for 10 years.
For 5 years.
No, for 5 years.
Somebody was just
say anything.
He did not say that. Is that possible?
I said I wanted to tell a story. Okay. The story is actually about married couple. They were both married. The husband was a beater, but he sent a beater, like a wife beater. He beats his wife, and the woman endured the beating. She gave birth to 3 children for the man because he was sending her to school. Immediately she graduated like this. She got a job. The first salary, she served the guy a divorce letter.
You don't jump her.
No time to waste time.
You don't.
So the guy did not lose that.
That one is not betrayal.
That's not betrayal.
That's betrayal.
I saw a kind of story in UK.
We'll take your story.
I think you finish.
I think we should respond to this. We'll take the story, please. Right. So, in your own case, she betrayed the husband.
Yes, because
why? Because she wasn't going for more beating.
The thing was when everybody asked that, okay, what the man felt used because he knew that she wasn't ready and she dumped the 3 children for another man.
Wait, she get married after that?
Yes.
She left the marriage.
She just gave birth.
He was beating her.
Yes, after she graduated, after her first salary, she served the first salary. She used it to serve divorce later, and just a year after, she got married to another man.
That's no time to waste time. That's betrayal.
That's betrayal.
She ran for her life.
She ran away for her life now.
The man was literally using the woman as a punching bag.
No,
so
she waited for the right opportunity.
Yes,
She used her hand.
The kids are with her husband.
While she was still schooling, she won't be able to stand.
She won't be able to
So
stand.
she just needed an opportunity for her to be self-reliant before she can leave.
But
I don't think that's
leaving 3 kids. 3 kids with
But living 3 kids.
You can't stay in a relationship where you are constantly abused and you say it's safe. You don't know what can happen. Abuse is a no. It's a red signal. Anybody that is going through a relationship that is constantly going through abuse, they both need help. You get the guy needs help, the lady needs help. So if you are in that kind of relationship and then you eventually find a window of escape,
Please run.
I don't think it's betrayal.
I don't think that's betrayal. I don't think it's not only fall into a category.
Does not move forward.
Mr. Yu, sorry.
The reason why I'm saying that is because the kids felt like
the kids,
That's not betrayal. That's not betrayal.
listen, the kids are unwilling participants in a much more larger
They are.
cosmic fight or so.
I want to ask a question, sorry.
Okay.
Did she ever complain
no
throughout?
because
When the man was beating her.
she never
She was
complained.
just
She was
picking
just-
it.
Keeping the juices.
She was
She had
enduring
plans.
because after
Yeah,
the
she had
family meeting, she said she intentionally endured
Wow.
because of the fact that the man
Was
was
this sponsoring her
sponsoring her education.
Yeah.
Okay, there's a part of that you can tag as betrayal, and I'll tell you why. There's a part of it. She could have had conversations with him. She could have gone for counseling.
Yes.
She could have communicated. She could have trashed out.
Yes.
She didn't do that.
Yes. She just
Probably maybe she felt that having that conversation might not have had anything to do with the.
Or it could be that she's afraid of the guy changing and she doesn't want this guy.
Or maybe she has
Some
had
girls
those
are that
conversations and it didn't
explorative.
work. Okay, so when it gets to that particular point, but there's a key part of the story, and the key part is this: a lot of times, particularly when people, okay, a lot of times also you do not know whether the people you have around you, friends, family, colleagues, co-workers, what other category of people, church members, just a organization, schoolmates. A lot of times you don't know whether they are in your life because you cannot state whether they are in life because they particularly are there for the long, or whether they're in your life because they're enduring you.
Exactly.
A lot of times we have this assumption that sometimes we may be the husband in that story. Okay? It might be beating, it might not be physical beating. In his own particular story, she just probably does not like the guy. In her own story, she did not like the guy. All right, but we were about to mention something. There's a story that I have to say before we finish, and the story has to do with introducing people in power. Those are those circumstances that are dicey that we'll discuss. Let's have your story and then we'll get into that.
Now, the story I want to say was, I saw the story online. The guy was actually doing the live video. The guy was in UK. He had a girlfriend in Nigeria. He was supposed to marry in the UK, but it just felt like, this girl in Nigeria, I actually wasted that time when I was in Nigeria. She supported me. So the guy did everything he could. He gathered money. He asked the lady to come over.
Bring her to UK.
He sponsored, while he was working, the lady was going to school of nursing. Made the lady graduated from school of nursing and got a job.
In the UK.
In the UK.
She left.
When she did nursing.
The story has told us time.
Now, the video he was actually recording that I saw was like, he had issue with the lady. Said immediately she finished school of nursing, they begin to have issues.
It's normal thing now.
And the issue he's having is he's actually seeing that lady with
Other guys.
other guys.
What to you?
Along the way, when he was in the video, I know in the UK, it's a woman's world.
Mm-hmm.
The woman was particularly sending him out of the house.
Oh.
Like, take your things and leave. I don't want to see you here again. And that was in the video. Look at the woman I brought to the UK with my money. So where I'm going to is, there are different phases of people. Because I and this person you are close is not financially stable enough, and immediately you're actually doing something that would change his state to be financially stable. You must be prepared for something.
Yeah.
So you must be prepared for a new phase of somebody. Because a guy is with you and the guy is so broke and is actually loyal, you must be prepared for another phase of him when he has money.
Yes.
Like this guy, this guy get money. So that is one thing I think we should do. And secondly, when you're actually working with people, you should be observant. You should study people. Yes, it is. No, you should. You should actually study people. I was talking to somebody that one particular thing that makes me have a friend and keep my friend is that I understand the limits and boundaries. According to my friends part time, I know this person can do this. This cannot do this. So I know what I can say with you. I know what I can. There are some of my friends that I can't bring into business. Because I've actually studied them. I've actually seen scenarios that this one, it will not be fit with my business. And another thing is that whenever you are doing something for anybody, I used to say it. I will continue to say it. Whenever you are doing something for anybody, do things that you not expect anything from.
Exactly.
Somebody like me, so if you call me that you need money, that I should borrow you money. I would actually borrow you the money that you do return to pay me.
Yes.
Because when I'm borrowing you, I'm not expecting the money back. If you return it, it's fine.
All right, I would say this, that listen, while your advice is good in that regard, there are still limits. Okay, there are limits. You would have people that will come into your house and they can come and they can break into your house. You cannot
do anything.
You can't prepare or plan for this advice does not cover that. I'll give you a situation. Okay, the story I said I want to narrate. I will narrate to you. I'll narrate it in 2 parts. I'll narrate it halfway and I'll ask you what the guy should do. Then I'll tell you what he did. All right. I worked in a particular place that was very, very peculiar. It was a very, very peculiar place because there was someone who was, the best example is you can call him master of the keys. Okay. He used to handle the keys that opened a very, very powerful location. So because he had access to those keys, he had the ears of powerful people. Okay. So there was a young man who worked in that particular place. The man worked as a cleaner. Right, and he had a girlfriend also. The guy was a graduate, he worked as a cleaner. He was hoping that getting the job there, will be able to use that network there to get a better paying job. Okay, so he had a girlfriend. And the girlfriend that he had, right, also graduated. And so he brought his girlfriend to meet this person who was master of keys. Okay, that's the best word I can use. Imagine that kind of a person. The person has access. And so he brought his girlfriend to that person and told the man that my girlfriend is done. It's a job. Is there any way you can help? Even use any cleaning job, or if it's just something to start out and rest, the same way I've started out here. And then the man in question asked him to help him to quickly get a recharge card or something. Okay? You see where the story is going. What do you think happened next?
Now, 3 course.
Yeah?
Classic Hollywood movie.
I'm just so sure of what happened.
Okay, so
Classic Hollywood movie.
all right, so that's what happened next. Like, he didn't bend over the table. All right. I don't know the exact amount because I was not there, but the way it was narrated. The master of keys reached into a bag, pulled out 250 grand. And okay, before that, he asked the girl that for her phone number. The girl said, I don't have a phone number. Like, she doesn't have a phone. So he reached into his bag, pulled out 250 grand, and wrote his phone number on the paper. And gave it to the girl and said, buy a phone for yourself. And when you buy a phone, my number is there, call me. Oh, immediately the guy came back. The boyfriend came back and could sense
something that happened. Yeah,
something that shifted.
That's sixth sense.
You know you have that sixth sense. You leave somebody who is so, perhaps maybe she was so deferent or whatever, and then a certain confidence. Because the girl knows that I'm about to come into
influence.
So when they were leaving, the guy was uncomfortable. If you were the guy, what would you do?
I'll address the elephant in the room.
I'll ask what happened?
Okay, so you asked her what happened. She said, nothing happened now. What happened? How can you be asking me that? Okay?
My question.
I told you a story now. All right? I haven't told you what the guy did. I just paused the story. And I said, right now, they've walked out of the office of the Masters of Keys. They've walked onto the pathway. They've exited the first gate, the second gate. They've gone out of the third gate. Okay? They've walked past policemen. Okay? I'm painting whatever, powerful people and all that. Now they are walking. Then the guy is asking, when I went to get him recharge card, what
did he say to you?
The guy was just gone for like 2 minutes or so. What happened within those 2 minutes when I was gone? Because I noticed a shift in the room. The question right now is, at that particular moment, I have told you the story. You are the gentleman, you have no idea. What do you do? You are the lady, what would you do? Be honest.
I can't even do anything. You've loved to get.
Question right now is this, what would you do? She has told us, what would you do?
What would you do?
I'm going to tell him that, immediately you step out, the man gave me 250,000 naira and he wrote his number and he said I should call him. I'm going to tell him because the man might later, told him later that, the lady you brought, tell him later that the lady you brought is very cheap. Did she tell you that I gave him this so amount? The man might be playing game.
Will you call him? Finish the statement. Will you call him?
I'll call him. That's why I'm my boyfriend. I will call him.
You called him.
I'm going to call him.
All right, so you have that. So you have that. You don't walk home. Would you take it or not? What's your name?
I will not take it.
Chisom. Where you from? Enugu State. All right.
And you say you won't collect.
She said, Mr. Guinness.
You are from Enugu State and you not collect the money. I've told you. Why you doing like this?
So, but as a man, this is what I would do. I will ask the girl, my dear, what happened in there? Two things will happen. Is that she tells me what actually happened. Or she's not telling me what is happening. Now, if she tells me what happened,
she already said nothing.
Said nothing.
Okay, no.
That's betrayal, right?
She didn't say nothing before.
She has said nothing.
Okay, now she said nothing.
When he asks, you will lock up.
You can't do anything. Two things will happen. One is that you lose the girl, or you lose your job.
So you lose.
Or lose your job.
Or you lose yourself.
Can I say
No, as for me, I'll go straight to the owner of keys.
Can I say something real quick?
I have nothing to offer.
You go straight to
I'll go straight to him and ask him what happened to my girlfriend.
All right. You see now that it's practical, you see a lot of those theories they don't work. Okay, so you said you've been in that situation.
Yeah.
Are you going to be honest?
Yes, honest, 100%. Like I do ushering job, so I went to that ushering job. So they invited people to come to the event. So, like, I don't know. This person in particular is very top, is a top person in political aspects. So I ushered him in to his seat and he asked of my name. I said, Christian. I said, when I'm going, I want to see you. Follow me. I won't stay long here. Just follow me. I said, okay, sir. That moment, I start getting scared. I was like, hey, what is going to happen? So I went to meet my colleague that was ushering at the entrance. This is what happened. This man said, she said, hey, that kind of big man, follow him. He will collect your number, he will connect you. I said, I don't even know what to do. So after the event, the man was leaving. I saw the way he was looking. He was actually looking for me with the way he's turning inside and looking for. So I was staying at the entrance with my friend so that I just don't know. I was just confused. So when he was going, he had to touch me that I should follow him. I said no. My friend had to push me. I said no. That I don't know. I don't want this kind of thing. So, and I was dating someone. That one too is a very high person. So when I go home, I had to tell him that this was what happened at the event I went to. He said, the next thing the person would tell me, why didn't you give him your number? I was like, are you for real? I should give him my number. I didn't even know they had anything. I didn't follow him. I stood there. I was scared. I'm always scared of any small thing. So I was like, I person, top. How do I deal with that kind of people? So he was like, why didn't you give him your number? Maybe he's trying to collect your number so that he will give you job next time. And I was like, job next time. He said, yes. Everyone does not want sexual intercourse with you. He said he will send my number to me. I said, no, don't send it. So in this kind of situation now, you see what I'm saying? You don't know people's mind. Okay, now let's just say I gave him my number and I went home to tell that person I'm dating that this so thing happened when I give this person my number.
You'll be forever suspicious.
Was I even expecting that kind of
situation?
Similar, but not same.
Let me stretch the mic to her.
Someone that I've dated before. So your family is in Cairo. So you now tell me that I should come to Cairo. He's going to get my passport, sponsor me everything, anything that I need. That he's going to do everything for me.
It sounds like human trafficking.
I was like, it's an opportunity for me because I have interest to travel. Like I wish to travel.
Wow.
So I said, so I told him that all this thing that you say you're going to do for me, at least it's closing to 2M. So that 2M, are you giving me for free? Or because I don't allow you to do anything with me then that you're going to revenge? How do you expect me to do something for you without getting anything?
So smart.
if that should be the case, you know, I have boyfriend here. He said, stay with your boyfriend then and continue.
Pragmatic guy. He's a very pragmatic guy.
So that stay with your boyfriend then and continue enjoy yourself. As if that should be the case, then stay in your own career. And immediately when I told my boyfriend that so person my ex, and I showed him the chat, the everything, that was like, do you want to go? I said, go where? Me, I'm not going anywhere. I'm for you forever.
That's true.
It's not true because
So, let me just rein it in, because if we continue, we will not won't. So I'll tell you what he did. All right? You want to know what he did?
Yeah, very interesting.
Do I recap the story from the beginning?
You just give us the end.
Okay, so he was walking out, and then immediately the girl said that that nothing happened. He said for sure. They kept looking at her, and he noticed that the way in which she was
walking is not
carrying the bag was different. All right, because you know that if you have 250k in your bag, you're walking on the road.
Be so careful.
You walk carefully. You know that.
Yeah.
If you get 250k at the end of the podcast, right now, we don't give 250k. But just in case somebody gives you 250k and they're stepping out of the gate, you will probably move differently. So he snatched the bag and ran.
The guy?
Yes. Snatched the bag, ran, opened it, saw the money, turned it around, saw the notes, tore out the notes, and kept the note with him and said that. Then he broke up with her.
The money. So what happened to the money?
I have no idea what happened to the money. But he broke up with the
Maybe
girl.
give her the money and told
I know the reason.
Mommy, she's not being honest.
Do you know the reason why he broke up
She's
with
not
her?
being honest.
Yeah, because she can actually sell him.
Not because she lied.
because he said nothing.
Not because she said nothing. The reason he gave her, say he broke up with her because if she called that guy the way she lied, she would not want the story to spread that he came through him and she outplayed him. So she would arrange for him to lose his job.
Yeah.
He said that was he looked at the circumstance and said, if this girl gets into this place to work with this man, she won't be comfortable, she's going to sack him.
Yeah, sure. He's a pragmatic guy.
He had sat down, he had thought into the future, figured out and said that there's a threat here, eliminated the threat instantly. So a couple of things that I just capped down from our stories. You need to notice that people have hidden behaviors, like he mentioned, and that the behavior of people when they have resources is different. Money accelerates and it expands and it amplifies what people do. Okay, so it's not that the man started cheating when he had money. It was that he was a broke man who could not power his cheating habit. Now that he has money, it has unlocked his capacity to carry models and expensive girls. So that's that. So you have to look out for hidden behaviors. And when you see, Dr. Jordan Peterson would say that you do not ignore the signs of impending betrayal. Okay? So if you see the warning signs, you do not ignore it. Like the story that we went over, you observe, you prepare your response, and then you wait patiently. All right? You need to track people's circumstances across time because people's circumstances will constantly change. She mentioned in her story that a particular lady was married, she had 3 children, and she stayed until she got her first job and started working.
Can kick the guy.
You also mentioned the story that somebody traveled out to the UK, trained, somebody imported his wife from Nigeria to the UK, trained her to school of nursing, and when she was done, she used the laws of the country to kick him out of the house, take the house from him. So it's important for you to understand that people behave in a particular way in different circumstances. It doesn't mean that they are bad people. It just means that you did not see them. You did not see the full picture of who they are. And then to one more thing to add is that you should not assume that people will behave against their best interests. People have to choose between their best interest and you. Every single circumstance, choose their best interest. And so armed with that information, you act accordingly. So with that, let me just officially close out this chapter of the show. So thank you very much for coming for the show. Thank you very much for joining us.